Okay, we are recording. This is a Touch Mother Earth production meeting, specializing in how we're going to use production for fundraising. And it is August 17th, 2020, and a portion or committee of the Board of Directors is actually meeting on this call to discuss that. In attendance is Alan Rita, Dave Miller, Shira Glover, Pat Patterson. Okay, the first issue that came up on our chat is that the people who are going after the large funders need a video montage of some sort that can be used as a marketing promo just for their funding efforts. In various different places, whether they're going after grants or benefactors or corporations or whatever. The second issue, and I'd like to hear from Alan, is he had some ideas of how to use our canned content to funding maybe kind of like a online festival, virtual festival of some sort. So Alan, could you take us through that discussion and what your ideas are?
Well, in general, we're building an interface between content creators and content funders and content viewers. That's essentially what we're doing, right?
In a nutshell, sure.
Okay, so we have interacted. We have interacted and are ourselves content creators. So we sort of have a backlog of programs that we have, but in my mind, in order to take something that is quote unquote living to a funder, to someone who's going to get behind this, it has to have sort of maybe programs are being created in the future. Certainly there are examples by those creators in the past, but those creators have to have signed on or given their okay in spirit to say, okay, this is something very strange, because even before it actually gets to function, things need to be sort of promised. I will do this and be a show like on your television station, but your television station doesn't exist yet. So we need to Oh, my audio is not working.
I wanted you to go back a couple sentences because I was hearing it, but it was a little garbled.
Is my audio not working?
Now you sound good. You're okay.
Oh.
No, I think you got it.
Okay. So basically what we have to do is certainly we Before we have examples from a certain number of content creators, and then we can basically say, okay, for an initial pitch video of, let's say, half a dozen vignettes or half a dozen segments, half a dozen scenes, I don't know, 2 minutes or 3 minutes apiece. We probably let's say we already have all of the video that we're going to use in-house, in the backlog of video that we have. But we need to say, we need to go talk to those providers and say, this is what we're planning to do, and we would like to get from you what similar ideas to what you already provided, or what other ideas that you have that you could provide to us as programs that you would like to actually, as content or programs you would like to create. I really don't know. I don't come at this as a person who is savvy as far as who I would go to get money to underwrite this. But I hope I bring enough from the perspective. I hope I can learn, and I hope I bring enough from this other perspective.
Okay, let me throw out some options here, because I'm still like a little not understanding exactly what our marching orders can be here. One option is to create a montage of videos and go to creators, like, I don't know, participants in, as example, the Earth Day festival or other live festivals we've done years before that, and ask them to participate, and use that as a funding source that we would get out and put out GoFundMe as an example, and get people to donate money for past content that we have from past festivals. Is that one option?
Right. So, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I just switched because I wanted to see if I could hear you guys better, and I can with the headphones. That's one. That one option is to take what you have. But I think, yeah, to take what you have, as long as you have each of those providers knowing that you have that material.
Permission, right?
Permission to use that to, and then you can go to other people, funders, and say, we would like to go forward and create content like this. It may be additional programming from these same providers, or it may be similar programming. That's certainly something that's reasonable to do. Go ahead.
So the other part of that is to be able to show that it looks like we already have it. So we have a backlog which is usable for video that we can show people for funding, in a sense that they want a snippet of each of the scenarios. So we have 7 marks in our diagram that Cheryl created. So you like education, live music, something spiritual, something nature.
Right.
So we have all these different categories. We take a 2-minute segment of each from already held content, and we show this as our example of what we will do. The second part is that, as Cheryl was saying, we can sell our catalog in bits and pieces because it's archivable, and we can either, if it's our own content, we charge accordingly, and if it's others' content with permission, charge accordingly.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is there is one, a marketing montage, two, an example of our content that we could get funders for, and three, a catalog of creative content that we have that people can subscribe to or actually pull out on demand. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, demand would be selling the archives.
Okay.
And then do we have a fourth type of content, which is content that we are soliciting to be created in the future?
Right, and we do. Obviously, we have four.
Then, and there's also rentals. People can rent space. They want to do an infomercial or whatever, as Cheryl said.
Okay, so as far as fundraising also, was the idea to actually republish some of this content to get people to donate so that we could go forward? Having, you know, like a marathon, telethon, computerthon?
Okay, that's an interesting.
In other words, what Cheryl is saying is we'll create another festival, such
Right.
as, say, October, November,
Right.
charge accordingly. People are, now they know what we can do. Now pay for us to go the next level.
Okay,
Donate for help us.
that is very interesting because you can attract new broadcasters, and you can also bring old content. So you'll have
Yes.
as
Yes.
opposed to the first one, you'll have the ability to bridge gaps, or if something screws up and but you'll also, I mean,
Yep.
basically what we're doing, and I'd like to be involved as much as I can, is we're gaining familiarity in how this facilitation role works. And
Right. So we're going to take everything. We would take everything from the Earth Day, try to tweak all the bugs that we had from experience, make it better.
Yes.
We now have additional content for pitching, and we could potentially tell our fundraisers to watch our event, see it for yourself in action.
Absolutely. That's a very powerful statement to actually. Okay, so we are at the middle of August, and we could have so we want to have so I'm just throwing this out. We want to have the pitch video of scenes go in front of the initial folks that we want to try to get money from, and of course we have to create that. So basically, there's a certain timeline. So we want the initial pool of benefactors to see our advertisement, and then as a kicker in that advertisement, we want to say, and not too many days after they see the content, like 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, we're putting on another festival. And please watch us, because then you'll get more of an understanding of what we can really do.
Sure, we'll add that into our pitch that we have our. So we can list a couple small events and list our big event.
But this is where timelines come in, and here the risk that I see is not in pointing to the video highlights. The risk is in finding someone to put together the video montage. That's that's essentially the only risk I see.
Okay, I believe that I can create the montage. We have
Okay.
the software here. Cheryl has it on her computer. I have to put it on mine. I've already done editing of the YouTube by trimming the front and the back. So yeah, now it's just a middle of pasting 2-minute A, 3-minute B, 90-second C, and then we decide if we want to make the storyboard, add in subtitles, voiceover, all the things that we wrote about.
Or just titles, of what area of the offerings is being spoken to, and
Content.
and sort of a super title which says this is, maybe you just have that wheel and you highlight the segment that's coming up, and then in another
We
flat
could do that. Well, we could also, for example, take a single card that has one testimonial on it and show that for 8 seconds, or whatever time to read it, and then go right into the next video. Like we have some testimonials that said we saved them during the pandemic. We have some very positive, uplifting testimonials about being able to feel like they were together during a time when we cannot meet.
Right.
So there are certain things that we'll plug in if they're appropriate.
I would think that is a very powerful message and that it should be included. But
only takes one good one.
So,
you know?
here's what I think. I think the first marketing montage should come exclusively from the Earth Day set of videos.
Sure.
And the reason I think that is because you can show the montage of however many videos it's going to be, and then at the end you can show the testimonials.
And the list of our next event.
Well, and say, and basically just say, this is the goal. This is the goal of Touch Mother Earth Productions. This is what we have demonstrated that we can do, and we're going, and however you word it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think it's doable, Dave.
Oh yeah, and I was thinking for a date that the 4 days of Thanksgiving, because people are there together. Now we're like sitting around the radio.
Well, the other thing is the 4 days of Thanksgiving is going to be after the presidential election, if that happens. It's going to be in a cooler time, and we don't know what's going to happen with the situation in our country.
Sure.
So it could actually be a time when people are apart and they didn't plan on being apart. So that is an excellent idea, because even if it's not a large issue, we will help a lot of people by targeting that date, even if they're just feeling away from family and they didn't want to be away from family.
It's the perfect launch date.
Yes, perfect.
Well, I'll tell you, historically, I've always done on that Sunday I always, or sometimes I guess it was Saturday, I would do a drum circle followed by like a dance party. I'd have a band,
Right. So if
and it was
right.
packed. It was.
So if we're
So that's the energy. People are looking for
so
something that weekend
right.
to do.
So the business that we have to do is basically we have to look at um we have to look at what setting those days aside for a festival does as far as organizing for that festival. But more importantly, from this meeting, we have to say, when does that video need to get done by,
Yes.
and when does that and when does that need to be given to the people who are seeking grant proposals or funding or showing to benefactors, so that they can have enough digestion time after seeing it, and then attend, or it's the same thing, attend the festival or attend what
All
part of
right.
the festival they're going to.
So what
I
I
think a
happen,
minimum of. Go ahead,
go
Cheryl.
ahead, Dave.
All
Okay,
right, a
what I
minimum
have
of
in
2
mind
to
is
3
two
weeks.
projects here. One is the marketing video, which they need right away, which Dave can put together the montage. It's only 5 minutes. So he doesn't need more than 5-10 minutes for that. And then the other, what else we're talking about. So those would be two separate things.
Yeah, we were planning a short deck and a long deck.
Okay.
The short decks feel good, got to get in, get out, and the
Okay.
long deck can have the explanations, the subtitles, the whatever. Now, I would say 2 to 3 weeks minimum from so that they have time to get the letter, look through it, and then watch the event. But I think it can also be appropriate 2 months before to have the video ready.
Right.
And
So when you say 3 weeks, that means it needs to be in their hands by the 1st of November.
something like that.
But the other thing is that I know in business that people tend to, once holidays start, people tend to
Yep.
not do anything. Once you hit like Halloween or first week of November, people tend to go into this focused or zone of like, oh my gosh, it's a holiday. So we need to think about whether getting it to people by October the 15th is a more realistic.
I think you're right. Yeah,
Okay.
I do agree. Hey, is Pat online with us?
I didn't hear you, Dave.
Wondering what she was thinking about all this. Yes, I agree. People are going to be stressed out, even if they're happy with the election, happy or stressed out. Half the public is going to be one way, and half the public is going to be the
Right.
other way.
We can't worry about that. I mean, we're floating this at the time when it's supposed to be floated. So we just have to say, okay, regardless of whether it's a high stress or a low stress time, this is when we're supposed to be doing this. So we can just go ahead.
Sure.
Let me speak to the logistics here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Dave is saying that in 3 weeks, which is not November, it's October. Okay, so 3 weeks, you're talking the end of September, that he can have the marketing video, which is 5 or 10 minutes, and that they can use that with the larger funders. The larger funders do not take a break in September, October, November, because they have to use their budget up.
Okay.
Okay, so being in real estate, for example, we have huge amount of investors that buy between September and December because they've got money left over in that budget that year. So for those guys, they need those video within 3 weeks. That's perfect. Now, as far as the festival in November, then that promo can lead into the other promo and get people out and ready. And that could be, you know, by the end of October. And that the public, yes, they're busy and everything else. But those are two different clientele that we have that would be looking at it. One, we're asking for donation, and those are people. And then the other are the actual funders that sit on money, okay, and need to spend it by the end of the year. And I think Pat can speak to that too, if she's able to. She's in a car. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, what else do we have on our agenda?
Okay, so the only thing is I just wanted to point out that there's a couple of documents that are just for brainstorming up on the cloud. One for the general funding and the other is our production one. So you could use that Excel document to put in ideas. The only problem I see is that a lot of the videos you're talking about, Alan, we don't have. Other people have their own videos from the Earth Day. So those, like you said, we have to get permission, we have to get their videos and get their clips. And Dave could go after that, but that might be, for the longer thing, that might delay him to not be able to produce it till
Okay.
sometime in October.
Oh, okay. So, I could,
As an example, let me just give you a, people have content, if they did it live, it's on their page. Right now, I have discovered how to download a video and turn it into an MP4 and then later upload it to YouTube. But what I've seen is you may have to be the content holder to put it up into YouTube. So that's I have to actually contact each of these people and say, look, we have your video. That would be scenario one. We have your video. I need it downloaded to YouTube. It's easiest if you do it. And then the second part of that is this will then go towards, you know, would you, by the way, would you like to also perform your, you know, again for November? And then 3, do we have permission to rebroadcast this? If so, will you be the one to download it? So if I can download them all, I'll get it done. The permission will be easier. If they have to do the work, so far only a few have come through, which is why we're at where we are now. So
okay.
I just have to nudge them, hope they'll do it. I know there's a couple people who said that did not want it shared, that it was just for the people that were in that group. So I'm fine with that. But yeah, we need to get like 1 or 2 of our yoga videos. There's a couple of things that we really need to get a hold of. I think one of them was a gong bath, a sound bath, and we do have access to the ones that were garden related, our discussion. So this is really cool. And then I think while we're still here, but I think this could be better for everybody to discuss, so we'll go off chat with it, is what kind of content should we have for November that thematically would be good with the Thanksgiving, the weekend? Like you said, families are starting to come together. People fly in that weekend, people fly out. People might be on a long road trip, listen to us from their car, you know, on their phone in their car. Do we change the content because it's colder? Do we offer any holiday tips? Or how about tips for people who are going to go into this season that get depressed? Maybe we should have a show about how to avoid depression this season. That
So,
would be awesome.
so um, the one thing that I can think of is hosting a holiday meal where people who are alone.
Okay, we did actually have a virtual dinner.
Right, but that's
No, I
it.
like that.
That's like the one thing for people out there especially at the Thanksgiving holiday, to be invited to join virtually your holiday meal, especially by Zoom, so they could actually be like speaking to other people at the table, quote unquote. I think
I
that would
like
be.
this. This is looking.
I think that would
Yeah.
be. I think that would be. I think that is like novel content.
Well, let's do it each night. Let's have dinner each night.
Right.
So it could be
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving, Friday.
Right.
Different people can host it. So we could host one, someone else hosts another.
Right.
We did Passover
That's a great way of bringing
via
the
Zoom.
community.
My
What
whole
was that,
family,
Cheryl?
we did Passover. It was kind of cool.
Right. But
But also,
that's
Dave and I hosted a dinner party. What he did is he did a cooking show on his chili, and then that night we invited people to make their own chili with his recipe, and we had a Zoom dinner party, and it was
right.
really successful. We had like 12 people on.
But the thing,
Yeah, we had people from different states.
the thing is that there's a camera in each person's home, and they are encouraged to, have a table set out, and so they're encouraged to be in the holiday spirit or to be more upbeat instead of just letting things go. So it's much more the support just isn't at the host site. It can be, do you want to show us around your apartment or something like that? To literally to reach out to each person and say, this is your 2 minutes or your 3 minutes to show us what you have going on.
That's cool.
I mean, literally to uplift that person,
Yeah,
because
bring in,
they're going to have to have uplifted their space.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so going forward now, so Dave's going to work on. Okay, so going forward, Dave is going to work on the marketing video, and we're going to work on. I'll get illegal content for somebody to
Echo.
sign.
All right, sorry, hey, Cheryl.
All right, sorry. Hey, Cheryl,
Hold 1 second.
just hold 1 second.
Okay, Dave
Sorry, guys,
came
but I
up
have to
here,
get
so
water.
now we're reverbing off our sound with each other.
Okay.
We can't be on the same floor and do this.
Take the bottle of water with you next time.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just wrap up. I think we kind of know what we're doing. The first thing is Dave's going to put together the marketing montage, and I'll work with him on some voiceovers, and Alan, you could work with that too. The second thing is start to prepare for this in November, and I will work on a legal thing where they sign us permission, okay, to use their content. I'll put together a legal document that they sign that content in. And then we'll probably need to do another planning session for the Thanksgiving session.
At least one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably more, but
Yeah, that's what
but we will
sorry.
Well, there's going to be one. Sorry.
So Dave and I will white paper it to start, and then bring you in with the white paper, bring the rest of the people in with the white paper, so we have some planning
Right.
and timeline and marching orders.
Okay. So
All
All
we
right.
have
Thank you, guys.
so we have a
We are
timeline.
I do have one more thing, and that is, for us to do this properly, we need 100 likes or subscriptions to YouTube. So we're asking everybody on the board we'll send you a link and stuff. We need people subscribed to YouTube so we could go YouTube live.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you all.
You need 100. You need 100 subscribers or 100 likes.
You need 100 subscribers to your YouTube
Subscribers.
channel.
Yes, you need 100. You need 100 subs. Got it.
Yeah. Subscribers.
All right, guys.
All right. Reach out to me if you need me, and I'll get people to like sub to that channel. Are we done?
Yep. Bye-bye. I'm leaving.
Bye bye.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.